you might have experienced a lot of difficulty when you started studying Japanese at the age of what, 30 plus? Okay.
Yes. Why did we put our son in a Japanese school? Everybody has this kind of a question that should we put our child in what kind of a school? Should we put in a Cambridge school? Should we put him in international school? Should we put him in a local school? We thought we'll start this series with a specific topic which has been inquired by a lot of friends of ours, whether they are staying in Japan or whether they are staying in India. The questions are basically related to the Japan school, and we would pick up about 4 to 5 questions in this episode, and we would talk about those 4 or 5 questions. So the first one, which is the most common, which comes up from almost with 90% of the people asking us, is that why did we put our son in a Japanese school and not in any international or a Indian school in Japan? So Rosalind, I think we should talk about that a little.
Yes, so initially it was the best option considering the long working hours of Japan, and I did try to explore other options as well, such as the Indian school and the other international schools, but I needed a place where I could put the child till 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. and all these other options, I think they were giving me the daycare facility only till 4 p.m. and yes, once I enrolled the child, I kept on, reviewing the progress of the child and whether the child is liking it or not liking it, and the school environment, the teachers, and everything. And I felt that it was going all okay, and I decided to continue with it.
This, have you seen? This is the place actually where someone used to play when he used to be here, no? Gakudo.
Alright, so we'll move on to our next question, and the next question that all of our friends and family members, they ask us is that how are we finding it? now that he has been going for a couple of years. 4 or 5
Right,
years
right,
now.
right,
Yeah.
right. The child has been very happy since the day we have put him in the Japanese school, and we have not seen any repulsive experience so far from the child or from any of his environment.
Yes, he is happy to go every day. Actually.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's excited. He gets up in the morning and then gets ready and then goes to school. The second, we are seeing the regular progress. What is he doing in school? Whether it's the curriculum activities or any extracurricular activities. Thirdly, being a non-native, even the Japanese teachers here are very forthcoming in terms of making him learn the subject matters or involving him even in the various extracurricular activities. There are a lot of times when once he comes and says that he has been made a monitor for a week, he has been given this in charge of some activity, and I mean they are not differentiating between a native and a non-native.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, he's always all praises for his teachers. I think I can feel that Samanvay has a lot of respect for his teachers and his school and the principal and everyone in the school.
Absolutely. So if we look at overall, I mean we are finding the Japanese elementary school very good, and that's the reason we have been continuing, and then he's continuing for past 4 or 5 years in the Japanese elementary school.
To our next question. The next question that we received is that what difference do we feel between the Indian school and the Japanese school? We have got our education in India in a regular Indian school, and here that Samanvay is now going to a Japanese school. What difference do we feel?
Our son has gone even in Indian school in India, and now presently he's been going here in the Japanese elementary school. So we have noticed there are few differences between a Japanese elementary school and any other school which our son has gone. So we would pick up a few of the basic differences, about 4 or 5 differences, and highlight here. Otherwise, this is a big topic that every schooling system is very different. Whether if you talk about a Japanese schooling system, whether you talk about an international school system, whether you talk about an American school system, whether it's an Indian school system, everything is very different. So, but here we are just trying to highlight
core points actually.
Core points, what we have seen and which has impressed us quite a bit.
Yes.
So the first point we would talk about here is the cleanliness, and Japanese students clean their schools by themselves, one, and second, they even have to clean the cafeteria as well as even the toilets by themselves. So there are and there are no janitors or there are no helpers who does that. So this way they inculcate the students to become responsible citizens from the early grade of schooling itself. The second, what we have seen is the curriculum itself is very focused towards the basic etiquettes, along with the subjects what has been taught at each grade from first standard to fifth standard or sixth standard. So these basic etiquettes also is being taught, and that also makes them a responsible citizen, so that these are being learnt in school itself actually, along with the teachers. Teachers, they inculcate these etiquettes in students.
So from the early stages itself, early childhood itself, they inculcate this dignity of labor, I would say.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
so-
correct. This is the subsequent clean portion. See, look at, all the footsteps and all that, they made it plain now, so that it doesn't look as if somebody has played here. This is what is. In India, we have those groundmen, they come and do it, right? The players, they don't do it. And the third point what we have noticed here is there are no school buses here, and the children have to go by walk to the school. This is specifically true in elementary school. Sometimes they go as a group in batches from the specific society or the locality to the school. So that's the third difference. And the fourth difference what we have seen is everyone, whoever enters the school has to remove their outside shoes and wear an indoor shoes while entering the school.
Which is called wabaki.
Yes, and that's the fourth difference what we have seen. And the fifth
Which is a big difference, because that again tells you about the cleanliness and the respect towards your classroom or that environment where you're actually studying.
Right. And the fifth difference what we have seen is that here students and teachers, they have to sit in the classroom itself and have the same lunch. And lunch is being prepared in school itself, and students themselves have to arrange during the lunch time the lunch. They serve food. And there are days when every student is allotted the day for serving the food, and after serving that specific student has to sit down and have his lunch. So that keeps on a rotation every week basically. So that means
and it's a very healthy lunch. They provide you fruit and they give you milk every day. I think it's mandatory to have milk, 200 ml of milk.
Correct, absolutely. And it's a healthy, well cooked lunch in the school itself, and even teachers have that along with the students. So these are the major 5 differences what we have seen, but there are a number of more differences because everywhere the curriculum is different, but we just wanted to highlight these 5 differences which our son is liking it. It's not that he has come and complained about it, that he has to do all this kind of work in school and all that, but he loves it, and then he keeps sharing what activity he did in school today. So I think let's look at the next question here.
Okay. So the next question which I receive is that, the medium of instruction or the education here, being a Japanese elementary school, it is Japanese. So Samanvay, our son, being a non-native, non-Japanese, how is he coping up with that? Because how is he actually understanding the instructions? Now the answer to this question is going to be really difficult, and honestly even I get worried at times because
Japanese language medium is not a easy task for anybody to learn. And just to admit here that I have been associated with my wife and Japan for so long, and I have not been I still couldn't learn Japanese. So I really understand it's a tough thing.
In my experience, children are very flexible. Okay, they are very receptive, and they can actually absorb a lot. In the beginning itself.
Right.
So you might have experienced a lot of difficulty when you started studying Japanese at the age of 30 plus. Okay.
Yes.
And Samanvay, when he started it at 5. So obviously that's I would say that. The language introduction, when it is done at a younger age, the benefits can be very different as compared to an adult who starts at 20 or 30.
Absolutely. So here the challenge was not even for us, but the challenge was even for their teachers, because being a non-native, they have to cope up along with the student also in class. So they used to give sometimes special classes in the evenings after school hours to make him learn.
And you have to give some credit to me as well.
Yeah, correct, absolutely.
I think here because because I know Japanese, so yes, that was a big plus point for Samanvay, because he could see me talking to the teachers, filling up all those forms, and it came to Samanvay. It came up very as if it's something natural that he has to learn, because the mom is speaking in that language.
But coping up with a completely a toughest language of the world and learning subjects in that language is really a challenge.
I mean, you have to devise a system. For example, now I have put him into a jiku or what you call tuition center, where he goes and he learns mathematics and Japanese and other subjects as well. So there is a lot of support available here, and Japanese people, they actually take a lot of that sense of duty is there in them as it is inculcated. So I think they take their job very seriously, and they take their responsibility very seriously, and I would say the teachers and the child, they make it happen. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think we have summarized that it's a challenge, but this challenge can be overcome.
Yes.
So
especially if you are interested, if the Samanvay showed interest in learning the language, and yes, we just encouraged him.
Right, absolutely. So there are a few more questions actually which we would pick up later on. Let's stop
This
stop
video
now.
will otherwise get very long.
Very long, yeah, absolutely. So let's stop now, and then we would continue it again later. So let's call the day off today. Please like, share and comment on this video, and please subscribe to our channel for more such kind of videos. Thanks for watching till the end.
Piyush and Roslyn signing off for today. See you.
Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Any further questions anyone wants to ask us, please comment and we would talk about those questions in our next episode.